All right, time to harden up, man. Get galvanized, right? We're kind of an interesting subject because we're doing content marketing, right? And why is it important? How do you do it? You know, what's the return? Blah 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 blah. Content marketing. I'm gonna give you a little history, right? Because I've been in this game for a while. HubSpot would like to think that they created content marketing. They would like to say they created the category. Marketing automation, definitely. But really, Google started rewarding people that were creating good content. And the way they would look at that is like, hey, these people have gone here, they've spent time, it gets more traffic. The internet has kind of this SEO gravity to it. Large entities tend to attract other entities, right? And so it's kind of ambiguous what content marketing does in impacting your business. But the way I've always described it for people I'm trying to help get their head around it, look, it's just an extension of driving your word of mouth marketing strategy. It's online. It can be leveraged through mechanisms and media that never existed before, whether it's Twitter, Pinterest, any kind of social media. And that's really what content marketing is. It's extending your word of mouth story through these opportunities that really never have had as much democratization as they have today, right? If you've got a good message, I have a buddy that is I'm gonna give him a shout out. He's the bus grease monkey, right? Scott Crosby. There you go, some love, man. He has now got, I want to say, he's had over 6 million views on his video vlog, where he is talking about fixing old buses. He is making he's making over 6 figures from YouTube and advertising share, right? And all because he captured his passion and started to do that. So there were people out there that were looking to remodel buses, and he found it, and he found his audience, he found his tribe, and he's out there killing it. And he's probably somewhere in the country, fixing a bus, using a handheld camera, creating this thing. The point is he had something to say. People were out there. They wanted to hear what he had to say. He knows his tribe, and he's building that. And I think that's part of what we keep talking about is who is your tribe? Who do you sell to? Do you really understand that person? And are you able to speak into their lives, right? I mean, would you agree?
Yeah. I think the hardest part for a business owner is just getting your head around what goes into content marketing and how much takes some money up front to do it.
Yep.
And you don't immediately see the ROI on it. It's a long term.
Yep.
And I've at fault of that as well, where I'm just like, dude, we're spending this amount of money to put the shows together, to do this, do that.
Yep.
And it's like, man, but then you start looking at the analytics of how many people are visiting your site, and it's like, okay, this is starting to work.
Yep.
So it takes time.
It does take time, but not a but. And the challenge is, like, you really have to go back to who is your ideal client, right? And so yours is, and ours is, I should say, is somebody that's running a mid-market business, or that is an earner, that is making the kind of money that can start to look at other things, is probably a little bit tired of getting financial advice from somebody that they're making more money than, right? And they're trying to build a legacy where they have all their assets in their business, and they want to start looking at alternative things, right? I mean, that's our tribe here. That's why you and I came together. That's why Galvanize makes sense. We're trying to help business owners not have so much financial pressure on how they run the business in the short term, so they can make better long-term decisions, right? And that's why we're developing this content, blah blah blah. But it's also deciding the tactics and the way we go out. But analytics is so important because your business is sales is a lagging indicator. And this is the hardest thing I've been able ever to work with in getting any business owner to get their head around is sales is a lagging indicator. And what does that mean? Well, if you're in technology, a lot of times you're going to market software company, you could have a 16-month sales cycle. You could have an 18-month sales cycle. If you're selling something that's disruptive, that people don't even know, if you're selling a different idea, like with what you guys do, you're selling a different way for people to invest versus a mutual fund versus an IRA versus all these things, 401k, mutant match. I mean, there's a lot of things that people can put money in. And let me tell you, the banking industry has got a lot of dollars into making sure they keep doing it the same way, right?
Yeah.
And so you're selling this new way. And that takes time. Education is expensive. And so when you're trying to teach a target market a new way, it's expensive. And so you need to understand the payments people pay you. And they start to pay you with attention. Right, and that's what the show is. That's what that's what content is. Are they watching this? Are they coming to the website? Are they opening our email? All those are payments of attention, and then they start to pay you with data. Like, did they tell you something about themselves? When you get a survey form fill out, when somebody's answering you the questions about that they deem valuable enough to spend some time to give you a survey about their information, that's payment. Because those small payments lead to larger payments. Will they do a trial? Will they pay you with time? I mean, one of the most powerful things webinars do is, are they paying you with time? Are they sitting on there watching your show for 10, 15 minutes? That is a payment. Payments lead to future payments, right? And so if they'll give you those things, if the top of the funnel and the middle funnel start to build, the bottom of the funnel will build too.
Sure.
And that's hard for content marketers to get their head around. But if you do that, if you trust that tofu mofu kind of the foos, if you will, of the funnel, tofu mofu bofu, you can start to see the revenue at the end. And that's a great concept to get for everybody to get their head around. So how many businesses truly have analytics at the top of the funnel?
Yeah.
I mean, how many of us are really looking at our website every month as part of our ongoing thing? Is traffic going up or down?
Yeah.
How many of us are looking at, hey, how many new people are subscribed to our email list? Is that going up or down?
Right.
I can tell you the best marketers look at that religiously. They're looking at the leading. In fact, they understand the relationship between the leading indicators and the lagging indicators, and that's part of what we're trying to get our earners, our tribe out there to understand. It's like, hey, if you start to get your focus on these things, the lagging indicator of future revenue will grow.
Absolutely.
And it's a powerful thing to understand. Now, there's one other concept I'd love to get our followers to get their head around. It's tripwires. And so there are things that you can do, and you'll know a lot of content marketers will do this. Is they'll introduce courses, they'll introduce offers that people can opt into that seem almost too good to be true.
Right. Yeah.
And those are like, if like one of the tripwires we've been talking about, get an hour of your time to get free coaching on how to manage real estate out of market. That's a tripwire, right? I mean, you're an expensive guy. That's an invaluable amount of time. But if you're able to do that, if I'm an investor out of Silicon Valley, out of Israel, out of China, I can start to understand what a 50,000 foot view on Indianapolis is like from somebody who's done hundreds of transactions over the last half a year, right? And that's how much value is that, right? But coming up with those things that get people in the door is part of what you need to do with your content marketing.
Absolutely.
Thinking about that, so that those are some components. Leading indicators. I mean, we've watched this tribe grow as we've been growing, and what's happened is we're getting better and better feedback because we're constantly working on those areas of the funnel. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom funnel. Measure it. Get analytics on it. Look at the data every week, and build your tribe. And that's really how you leverage content marketing.
Awesome.
Hey, if you've been watching us. Have been following us, you've been kind of seeing this story develop, we would love to have you subscribe on YouTube or our podcast on iTunes, or just come to the website and sign up for the weekly newsletter. We'd love to see you.